All right, boys, we are here with the guys from Details. We got Joel and Sal. Guys, you guys are down here as well. We're I don't know when this will go up, but we're here for the KCX training, right? We're hosting it here, so you guys came down to be a part of the event again. So super awesome. We were kind of discussing things and trying to figure out what we want to talk about on the podcast, and we kind of settled on service.
Right.
Service businesses.
Yeah,
right?
we're all in it, so let's talk about it.
Exactly. So I've come to experience, so I think, especially for detailers, right? The way to excel is literally just doing what you say you're going to do. Yeah. Like, you don't even have to go above and beyond anymore, which is unfortunate because so much of the competition
is lacking.
Big time.
Yeah. You don't even have to be good.
Right.
You could just do those few things right. Just show up, answer your phone. The basics, like the
showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just showing up.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Hey, did you get it done? No, what happened? The guy didn't show up.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Nothing's
Your wife calls you, you're still at the house? Yeah, I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for him. I can't, like, it locks you up. It sucks when you have somebody coming to service something and you it's not there.
Yep.
It's like non-existent. Like, especially when you can't get a hold of them. You're like, should I keep waiting around? Is something going on, And yeah.
That's my biggest thing is, like, working mobile, if I'm going to a customer, if I'm going to be 1 minute late, I'm either calling or shooting them a text to let them know, like, hey, I'm on my way. I'm going to be a minute late. Like, if I'm not, it's the old saying, like, if you're not
early, you're late.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And I've always kind of gone by that. And because, again, we're in the service industry, right? So we're like, you got to value their time more than your own, almost. You
like those old men sayings.
Yeah,
you like them all.
Yeah, we say it more and more now. Now they're not an old man sayings; they're like our sayings now. They're just sayings now. It's not old man sayings. It's like, oh yeah, it's not even my grandpa used to say. You know what Josh V always says? Yeah. If you're not early, you're late. I'm gonna start saying that in our teachings.
Man, so give me an example. I have an example for sure of a terrible service situation that I was just in, like, a week or two ago. But tell me something that you guys have had where it was an eye opener of like how are you guys even in business anymore?
Oh, we had one on the way here, man.
Really?
It was terrible. Like, oh, geez, I have to calm down just thinking about it. Let me do my breathing. Yeah, we flew in. We reserved everything, flight, hotel, rental car, everything. So we fly in to Orange County. We get to the airport and it's like, okay, let's go down to the I'm not gonna name the rental. So we go down to the company.
I'll name mine, by the way, when I get to it, because it was that bad.
Hertz rental cars. Go down and we're waiting in line. And first off, they make everybody wait outside.
Really?
As they're checking in one by one person, and it's a pretty big. It's not huge, but it's a big space where you can fit at least 7-8 people in there with luggage comfortably. But they're only letting one party in at a time.
Like it's still COVID?
Yeah, exactly. Like COVID, like type of protocol. Yeah, so everybody's standing outside. So immediately I'm like, it makes you question things like, what's going on? Am I in the wrong line? Do I need to be in? Have you ever been somewhere where you're like, oh, I didn't know I need to be in that line, and no one tells you.
And other people are way ahead of you. You're like, I've been here way longer than you, but yeah,
exactly. Dude. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, we reserved the vehicle already. We got everything taken care of. Everything's paid for. It should be a breeze.
Yeah.
Apparently not. That hurts. So we go inside and everything's good to go. Getting all the information and give her the card to pay. Oh, the card's not. It's not. It says there's something going on with the chip. Okay, can we
swipe instead?
Yeah. So I say, can you swipe? And she goes, no, we don't do that. Here we go. This whole the technology has changed just in the past 10 years. It went from swipe to chip to tap.
Yep.
It's like, but the one thing they will not do is what now? They will never key it in now.
Right.
Like before, if the swipe didn't go, it's like, okay, key it in. We just came through an airport. Like things get demagnetized, stuff happens.
Right.
Cards get worn. So I call my card, the credit card company. Hey, is everything cool? Like, what's going on? And then we're traveling. If you travel and they see your cards out of the county or whatever.
Yep.
There's a, so I look at my cards, my phone, to see if there's any alerts, like, any fraud alerts.
Yep.
Nothing. So I ask her, can you just key it in? Something must be going on, whatever. Check everything, go to the bank site, make sure everything's good, active, no issues. I can't key it in. I'm so sorry.
It's a liability for them now.
First of all, there's always a bypass to every POS system.
What happened to the
exactly.
the carbon
I was
copy,
like, what
Technology.
I know.
And I said,
I know.
what if somebody came in? What if an old man came in with with the check?
Yes.
Like what happens at that point? So anyway, turns out I had to do everything through my debit card, and I'm paying through my debit card. And at the time of the debit card, she goes, "Oh well," and so I'm expecting to enter my PIN and everything, right? It's debit. Like, okay, cool, whatever. She goes, "Oh, we need a $500 deposit also." I'm like, "We're doing debit. Aren't you charging me right now?" She's like, "No, we're just gonna run out of credit card." I was like, "Just can't you're making this so much more difficult." I'm like, okay, I'm like, whatever, just get me out of here.
Yeah, give me the car, give me the keys.
Get me out of here. She's like, well, I need to go to this terminal now, to this other workstation to enter everything in. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And she totally forgot all because she did the transaction at the very end. She had to plug everything in. So we had to go over all of that stuff again. And then we have to put Sal on there because he's going to be driving the car also. Oh, what kind of insurance did you want? This and that. I'm like, jeez.
So this
we're
must
sitting
be
there. Everybody's outside staring at us like it's our fault.
Yeah.
And the manager's like in a different room, and you could tell
nothing.
He doesn't want to come out. He's like, I don't want. And at this point, I'm getting a little because I know if you've ever ran anything, what the capabilities are. It's like obviously the person at the counter.
Yeah, they're limited.
They have limited access to everything. But the manager, you can bypass pretty much everything.
Right.
You could void everything and give things complimentary. And you're telling me you can't key in. So I ended up calling the bank, and it was demagnetized. It happened to be demagnetized, and no problem, whatever. But they still could have had the option to say, you know what, let me key it in, make sure everything's cool. They had my ID, everything was good to go. Like, what if that was the only card that I had at the time?
No card
they're not
for
going
you.
to take cash. Yeah,
right.
They'll be like, what would we be in? So either way, service-based industry, it was terrible, and that's like kicking off. Like our
3-day stay.
Right.
Yeah, our 3.
I send the
straight into it.
We love being here, but it's there's a it's work.
Yeah.
So it's like I told Sal, I said, can you imagine us having to go, because for my previous job I used to have to work. I would travel, do my stuff, and when I would have hiccups like that, it's like, okay, now I got to go into a job. At least we love what we do now.
Right.
Imagine having to go through that and then going to a job that you absolutely hate. It's like, okay, now I got to deal with the real crappy part of my job.
Yep.
So it's like, it's not really starting my work trip out on a good foot.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah, it was just that was just the first,
first step.
The first step.
Are you going to be driving? I said yes. I'm put us both down. Okay. Are you guys brothers? I said yes. And say, okay, let me see your ID. And she goes. And the manager is there, the guy that's supposed to know more.
Yeah.
Goes, your last names aren't the same.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. You guys are brothers? Like, yeah. Well, we're gonna have to put you separate. It's like, well, okay, we're gay then. How about
we're
he's my
partners.
husband?
What if we're partners?
Like,
There'd be no questions
I
asked.
just want to drive the car.
I was like, there'd be no questions of that. But it's like we can't be brothers with different last names. But
Seriously.
But if we said, oh, we're partners. Oh, okay.
No problem.
Sirs. No problem, sirs. Can I key that in for you?
But like dealing with that whole experience, because you guys are all about efficiency.
Yes. So to
It's
me, it
driving you
drives
crazy.
me nuts. Absolutely nuts. It sounds like it takes a lot for me to get, because I understand. I also have a lot of patience because I understand process. I understand that sometimes the technology or whatever it is that we're using, it delays us. We have to go through protocol steps, whatever. Oh, and they had to do a credit check to use my debit card. They're like, we got to do it. I was like, so now you're affecting my credit score? Because every time you get...
Are you kidding? Yeah. There's inquiries.
Yes, at that point, I just said, I don't care. Do what you got to do.
I was like, hey man, check this. Let's go check out Interstate or something.
Seriously, Enterprise Renter,
Yeah,
whatever.
I left. Yeah, they had it. They were like, oh well, since you're using a different card, since you're using your debit, and I was like, you're using my debit card. and now you got to do a credit check. I don't care. I'm not looking to buy another house
Right,
anytime
right.
soon.
So
So,
but
it's not,
still.
But what if I was? What if I'm like, yo,
Well, for me, dude, I've been hacked so many times. My credit is frozen. Like how you can actually call it and freeze it, so that no one can open up anything.
Yeah. So what if mine was frozen or
You'd
something?
be out of luck.
Yeah. I'm like, why are you like? Is this really necessary?
Oh my gosh. Dude.
Yeah, all because the chip was demagnetized. They literally could. And when I called the bank, because I called the bank once we settled in, I said, hey, I just want to check on this card, make sure everything's cool. I'm traveling. I'm in state.
Yep.
And they said, okay, it looks like everything is good. Your balance is such and such. No, it looks like everything's active. No problem. Yeah. So the information on the card that the transmitters read, the card readers read, they didn't have the information. But if they would have had to key it in,
everything was good.
Yeah, the bank confirmed if you would key it in, it's usable. So when we got to the hotel, I didn't even bother. I just put it. I gave him my debit card. I said,
really,
I don't want to mess with this one anymore.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was that. But yeah, like you were saying, us coming from an operations background and optimizing, it's really tough. I have to bite my tongue.
Like how long was that whole process for you guys of checking
that?
that?
Had to be at least 30 minutes.
Yeah.
At least 30 minutes.
And everybody's waiting outside, like staring
like
at
the
us.
people that we were in line.
And I'm sitting there like, I probably did that about 3 times, and you can't hear. So they're probably, it's all glass. So they're watching you like, what the heck's saying? I'm just.
There was about 6 people behind us when we were in line until we got caught up. All of them ran through, and there was a whole new list of people. While we're
No way.
Yes. And the lady, and I told Sal as we left, I said, you know what? I'm sure she deals with this all the time.
Yeah.
Because she's just like so calm, like it's like she's so like desensitized. She's probably heard it all.
Yeah,
like
for
she's
sure.
just like it's another day in the park.
You guys ever watch Seinfeld, the show Seinfeld?
Yeah.
You ever see that one episode where he goes to rent a car, and then he goes, I have a reservation. She goes, oh, we don't have that car. He's like, but I reserved it. She goes, yeah, we don't have it. He's like, well, what's the reservation for?
Same time, yeah. I've done that at U-Haul before.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've gone to U-Haul and they're like,
Like,
well,
we don't have that size
we
anymore?
don't have it here. I said, then why did you send me here and why did I just waste like 20 minutes reserving it? It's like I need to move and I need that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on a schedule here, brother.
I'm trying
You're
to
screwing
set
me
this
up.
for today,
Oh, God,
yeah,
dude.
it's wild. Yeah, it's hard to fathom that people operate like that daily because that's bringing nothing but problems.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And our job is we want to eliminate any of that stuff. Like literally, I'm trying to pay. Like, why are you making it that hard to pay?
I'm trying to
give you money. But it's weird because in our industry, I see guys doing that. Where they're like, "Oh no, you can't pay me here. You got to go to my app and pay, or you got to pay on the website when you do this." Or it's like, no, bro, take that money.
It's interesting. That's kind of I'm guilty of that. So like with mine, it's like they'll try and give me a credit card, and I just say, "Oh, actually, I'm just going to send you the invoice. You just pay right online through the app, because it'll come in a text and they can enter it that way." And I feel like some people like that because then you don't have control of the card.
Yeah.
But
some
at
people
the same time,
also are like,
just take it, dude.
yeah.
Well,
that's a good point.
That because
I want to
I
make
already
it.
trusted you. You
Yeah,
already
that's
did
fair.
a service for me. I trust you already to
That's
do
fair.
the right thing. So now it's like you're giving me back. You're giving me work now.
That's an very interesting point because the app that I have, like when they're checking out, it gives them a tip option, and they always tip when they see the tip option.
Yeah.
If I just take it, it doesn't give that option.
Like I'm not taking nothing.
Yeah, but you're right. It's more of a headache. Yeah.
It can be
My
like
car
yeah.
meter don't work.
Yeah.
oh man, it doesn't look like my car.
Sorry, let me
meter.
just send it to you.
It looks like you got a chip malfunction.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we just try to do whatever's going to be more as convenient for them.
Yep, that makes sense.
We know guys that are like, oh no, I won't take Square or I won't take any of the third party credit processing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to do American Express because it's a higher fee and all that.
Yeah,
but
like,
it's
I don't want to pay. Okay, well, we're charging, our average ticket is a little bit on the higher side. We're not going to complain about $4 if we're doing a $2,000 job.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, seriously, you're going to pass up on that money. Like, you're going to,
Right.
they're like, oh, no, I don't cash only. I get it. You know what I mean? Some people are just cash only, but I'm not going to shy away any, potential clients.
What do you think about that with the cash only? Do you feel that that's more of the side hustle guy and not the business owner?
I don't know. I've seen both do it.
You've seen both?
Like Sal, speaking of service base, would tell him about the windshield. How my man got you came smooth with the when Sal asked about the pricing.
Huh?
How did he say it? When he gave you that cash price?
I gave you a cash.
Yeah. Obviously,
We'll turn this a little bit just
we
to
had the
make sure.
my windshield was cracked.
Okay.
So I called a local guy and I said, hey man, I got a windshield. Gave him my information. He goes, okay, I'm gonna send you over, and that's gonna be cash price. That he pretty much just told me.
Straight up,
I
cash
only
price.
take cash, and that's the
Without-
cash price without saying. You know what I mean? I was like, I see what my man did. Okay, I'm not gonna say, hey, what's the credit card price?
Right, right.
He just told me. Okay, well,
I
I'm
don't
just
even want to hear the other price.
yeah. So I made sure I gave him his cash price.
So I was like, that was a smooth
That was
way.
smooth.
Yeah, right up front. No,
There's
just no hiccup.
He's not giving you the option.
Right.
He's just saying that'll be the cash price of X.
I'll tell you,
dollars.
we will not take one form of payment, and that's Cash App.
Cash App. Why?
There's some problems with Cash App. Man.
Is there? Yeah.
Yeah, there's
with
I don't
certain
use it,
folks-
but I
Yeah, don't start.
Okay.
Don't start.
Yeah,
don't
it's
take
just,
Cash
it's
App.
not our like. It's usually a certain type of clientele that's wanting to use Cash App, and it's not necessarily our target. Our target clientele.
Sure.
And so there's certain things, and that's one of the reasons why we don't run the Google ads either, because it just brings in a different type of clientele that you're not accustomed to. If you've built a business, that if you've targeted a market, you kind of want to stay within that market.
So I guess for me, I do a lot of Google ads, or especially in the past, right? But I was targeted in areas, right? Because you can do the radius, so that I knew that was the clientele. I wanted.
You had a range and you knew where you wanted to cover and where you wanted to advertise. You're not going to be advertising in Compton. East LA.
Exactly. Exactly.
There's going to be areas that you kind of want to stay away from, not only for safety, but you just never know. You don't want to be going into areas that are unknown.
Yep.
Like especially
You guys ever had
big
cars where you found some weird stuff?
all the time. Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the time.
But he had to do a Spartan kick to a homeless lady.
Oh.
We had
300.
Wow.
It was.
No way. Let's hear this.
I was getting gas out of it, and it was like 5 a.m. in the morning. Right, we start early, and what was I was getting gas in the car, and I don't know if Sal wasn't working with me at the time, or it might have been before.
I just didn't work that day.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I was sitting there, I was getting gas, and I'm pumping the gas, and I kind of see this person kind of walking around, and it's not like a super bad neighborhood, but it's kind of like declining.
Okay.
So I'm at the gas station, and this specific gas station around it's always around the where you put the water in the air for the tires. There's always some kind of crazy activity going around in those areas. And I see something peeking around. And I'm like, gosh, here we go.
Yeah.
So I'm on my toes and I'm filling up the gas tank. So and I'm in the van. When you're in the van, we have the same van as you, so it's a little bit taller. So you got to kind of, so I'm just kind of walking around, just kind of scoping the area, And all of a sudden, I see this woman come out the side, acting crazy, but I don't know if it's long hair, very tall, big, and to the point where it could be a threat.
Sure.
And
Sure.
they're very irate, erratic behaviors and just movement, talking to themselves, a bit dangerous. And
they're an absolute wild card.
Exactly. Getting close to me. It's like 5 a.m.
Okay.
And they're getting close to me, and there's nobody else at the gas station. And I'm just like, hey, back up. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, what do? I don't want to touch. Like, I don't want to put my hands on it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Yes.
Because you got too close, and my instinct.
So you reared up on one foot.
That was yes.
Way.
And they fly back, and like the Matrix, like just flies back, and in my mind, I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to jail.
Oh my God.
I was like, the guy in the gas station's probably on camera. They're like, this dude just.
He's on YouTube on a camera somewhere.
I'm
Security camera footage.
I'm like, what just happened? I was like, but I was in danger. I was like, and I'm trying to justify it. I'm like, I was in danger, right? I was in danger, right? But they were like, it was a big person. And, and obviously they're not in their right state
exactly.
of mind.
Yeah.
So what am I? I'm not gonna. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna pull out a knife. I don't know if I'm gonna get assaulted. I don't know if someone's gonna spit on me. Like I don't want to take that chance.
So what happened after? They went flying back.
And then they
they
get
just
up and
take off?
and then they start yelling at me more. And then I'm gonna tell about so and so. Like she said like a name. I'm like,
I don't know who that is.
Jeremiah coming for you. They don't call Jeremiah.
So I just get out and I leave. And then I tell Sally, and Sal goes, "You did what?" I was like, nothing like this has ever happened to me before. You know, I was like, it was so bizarre. But
That's incredible.
yeah, it was wild. I was like, my heart was pounding. I was waiting for the cops to call me. Like, anytime. Like, you're at a gas station, you're on camera, license plate number.
For sure.
They have everything. So, yeah, crazy.
Dude, that is a great story.
It was wild, man. It wasn't fun.
No, it was probably
wasn't
terrifying
fun,
when it was happening, right?
That area we don't service anymore.
Gotcha. You're just like, not going
They're
back
like,
there.
Nope.
Wow, dude. That's one of those things. Terrifying while it's happening, but the funniest thing ever afterwards.
It's funny, afterwards
so
it's funny, but at the time I was just like, geez, like I could get in trouble. I don't know what was happening, but again, it's like self-defense. What are you gonna do?
Right.
And this is one of the reasons why we have a targeted market and we don't, because I don't want things like that to happen again. Like first thing on my mind is with the business, working in the service industry, when you're going to certain areas, working on people's property, you know, on their physical property where they live, and you're working on their property that they own, like their vehicles. So the liability is not just on the vehicle; it's on it's on any type of property. If you ruin their lawn, if you stay in their driveway with the certain iron remover, you know, things could happen.
Yeah,
you have to be prepared to like
deal with those things.
Yes,
for sure.
Because sometimes, unfortunately, those things happen. It's just a part of business. But I try to manage risk as much as possible. So we're in a constant state of risk management, operational efficiencies, process improvement. Like that's always on our mind. So with everything we do, so when we do have encounters like with Hertz and stuff, it's kind of like it's almost like, do I have to go back there and show you? Like I've walked people through stuff. Like
That's sad, right?
I literally
I'm doing your job.
Yes, I'm supervising them on how to fix the solution, and my wife hates it, but she's like, I'm like, we got to get this done. Like, you know, I'm not gonna go through a whole customer service thing and have to deal with this because this person is
incapable.
It sounds bad, right?
Yeah.
You say they're incompetent of doing their job.
Yeah.
But that's technically that's what it is.
Sadly, that's more common than not now. So I need you guys to go to where I was. So this was about 2 weeks ago, right? My wife has a Dodge Ram Rebel, right? And it was time for an oil change.
It's a big truck.
Yeah,
She has a truck. What?
Yeah, that's what she rolls in, man. We started watching Yellowstone and she wanted to ram, bro. She loves it. So I was like, okay. So anyway, it's time for an oil change, and there's 2 recalls on the truck, right? So I go to the shop here is in Poway. So there's a local Ram, like franchise dealership down the street. So I schedule an appointment for 9 a.m. I get there at 8:50. Takes me 25 minutes to check in with an appointment. I'm like, I should have drove up. Like, so what, I was like, whatever, you leave. I get picked. My wife picks me up. We come here to get some stuff done. I asked the guy, I go, how long about should it take? He goes, hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay, cool. 2 hours go by. My wife's got to go pick up the kids here pretty soon. So I call him like, hey, just wanted to check in and see where the truck's at. And I'm talking to a dispatch girl. And she goes, oh, let me check for you. Comes back on the phone. She goes, oh yeah, it's not going to be done today. I go, it's not? And she goes, no, with the recall stuff, it's not going to be done today. She goes, we really should have scheduled it, later out. And I go, okay, well, the guy told me an hour and a half, 2 hours. And she goes, yeah, I don't know who said that, but there's no way it's going to be done today. I go, okay, is it going to be done tomorrow? She goes, no, probably not. I go, okay, I'm coming to get the truck. Like, that's stupid, right?
Yeah.
This is
like
ridiculous.
We're going to have to do this a whole nother time.
Yeah. And so I go to pick up the truck, and as I pull up, it drives by me into one of the other back bays.
Your truck?
Yeah. And I go into my service advisor, and I go. He goes, yeah. So what's going on, dude? I go, yeah. I'm here to pick up the truck because they said it's not going to be done today. And he goes, we just finished the oil change. We're just doing the recalls real quick. I was like, okay, then I'll wait. I go, how long is it going to be? He goes, 20 minutes, hour and a half. Bro, I'm sitting there waiting. I'm like, what is going on, right? So another hour and a half, and then finally it's done. And he gives me this paper. He goes, yeah, and when you have to redo your registration, you're going to have to go to the DMV and give them this because it has to do with emissions or whatever. I go, you guys can't do that on the computer. Now I have to do something else too. Just take the stupid yellow piece of paper in. So now I got to go to the DMV. whatever. I pay, the service $190, right? So, okay, I'm done. Whatever. Get into the truck. The sticker, didn't change the sticker. Truck still says it needs an oil change because I didn't reset it.
Jesus.
Okay, so all this, I'm like sick. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever. Drive back to the shop. I'm like, you know what? Let me check. Pull the dipstick. Dirty.
Ugh.
Fully dirty. And then we've had like Santa Ananas and stuff like that. So it's been dusty out.
Yeah.
The engine compartment's dusty. You look where the oil fill is. It definitely has not been touched. Definitely hasn't been. So I call the guy back up. I go, hey bro, you sure they did the oil change? He goes, yeah. He goes, let me double check. Gone for a little bit. Comes back on. He goes, I'm so sorry, sir. Can you bring it back in?
Jeez.
I go, so the oil change wasn't done? He goes, no, I'm sorry. I go, just refund my money. I'll take it somewhere else. Like each level, they messed like the entire.
They couldn't mess up anymore.
Like
that's like an anomaly.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how many things have to go wrong?
Yeah.
Like through all of the, you're telling me everybody at every step,
Every single
dropped the ball.
They could have burned down your truck
Dude,
His truck got burned down.
did your truck get burned down?
at the dealership.
He's like, that's
Bro.
He's like, Josh, that's
That's
all you got for
nothing.
me?
Well, I am nervous about sorry, everyone. I'm on a lower seat, so I'm sitting on my leg and it's falling asleep. But I'm nervous about the recalls now. I'm like, did you guys actually do them? You gave me this
Who
stupid
knows?
paper, but
Now you're going to go to DMV and they're going to say, well, this wasn't done.
Yeah.
And then when you go to DMV, the DMV always has problems.
Oh, and yeah, talk about service.
Dealership, DMV,
that.
airport, you're always going to have a problem.
That was.
So let's hear about your truck, bro.
Yeah, just take the truck back. Tell the wife.
I know,
hey,
just
man,
I know.
it's the last season of Yellowstone anyway. Let's take this thing
I
back.
had a 2018 truck that was built.
Okay.
When they say built, the 2000 version of built, meaning like you go click on everything that you want.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So you got every option,
Yes,
kind of deal. Okay.
Yeah. And then I had to I had to take it back for service, just
Okay.
regular old service.
How long have you had the truck at this point?
Not even a year.
Okay.
It was a 2018 Midnight Edition Silverado.
Got it.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So I take it in to go get it worked on. I think it was oil change or sensor or something, right? Then my wife calls me. She goes, "Hey, think you're gonna kind of be mad?" I said, "What's going on?" She goes, your truck burned down."
Like, huh?
Like, my truck burned down. She goes, "Yes."
It's at the dealer.
It caught on fire at the dealership. And I said, well, if it caught on, like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Like, I can't get mad.
go
Like,
save it.
I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah.
Little
And then
clay,
she sent me
little polish.
pictures. And yeah, what happened was that when it was getting serviced, something with the fuel injection, whatever, they didn't tag it out. So when the guy went to go start it up,
It
caught fire, blew up.
That's
But
My-
tell them what they
Rough.
tried to tell.
Oh, yo, so after
And it's your fault?
after it's all done, right? And my wife's been in the car business all her working career, pretty
Yep.
much. You know what I mean? So she knows all the ins and outs. And so they come back and said, yeah, we got your truck burned down, so go ahead and send us your insurance, and you guys will take care of the deductible, and we'll go from there. Like they try to do it smooth. They try to do it like here goes
no.
cash,
Like
here goes
they
the
do
cash
that.
price.
Yeah.
Just send it to me. That'll be all right. My wife goes, no.
this is your insurance,
like,
not mine,
we
dude.
are doing nothing. Like yeah.
You just burned my car down. We're not doing anything.
Unreal.
She sent me a photo, and his wife doesn't text me very, like unless there's something
Hey, can
going
you
on.
fix
or-
this? Can you
No, she sent me, and I think I was in Oakland at the time, and she sends me a video. I'm like, why is his wife sending me a video?
Yeah.
And it's literally his truck. Like, it's from her sitting in the lobby, looking out the window, and the truck is in the parking lot, like in the hood. You just see flames coming out of the hood.
my
And I'm like, why is she sending me a photo of a car with
on
a truck
fire.
on fire? And it's kind of off in the distance, but you could tell it's on fire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then I call her later on. I'm like, hey,
What
what's
is this?
going on? Like, did you send that to the wrong person? She goes, no, that's Sal's truck on fire. I said, are you okay? And she goes, yeah, the dealership did it. Okay, well, goodbye to that truck. Yeah, that's
Dude.
It's wild. But just the fact that
That's why I'm not a car guy, man. Because then it can burn
that
down.
burns down.
They burn down. They go out on you. You know, you got to get them service.
I know it's a pain.
Recalls. Too much.
I know. So did they end up taking care of it? Like once, or did you kind of have to fight them about it a little bit?
But about the insurance, like, nah,
Yeah.
it was a very little fight, but the fact that they even try to pull it a little bit was kind of like, get out of here.
Get out of here. It's in your possession here, but like the whole,
Yeah.
and you're working on that. I didn't touch it.
Yeah.
I brought it to
like
you
this
guys
is-
to do
yeah.
it. This is what you do.
Yeah, so service-based industry, man. It's hard to find like good service. Really, like you said, that good service is what stands out
Well,
now, and it's sad because it has nothing to do with the
It's
outcome.
the staples.
Right.
You know,
It's the
just
staples
about how you
of
do
a
it.
customer industry. Those staples aren't being there. You go to a restaurant, you have to put in the kiosk now. There's no more like
You're doing the work.
Yeah, and
You're doing the work
you,
now.
You go to any store. You have the self checkout. It's just like no. This is the reason why you're in operation because you guys take care of this. But it's all slowly
And then
going downhill.
the same thing in restaurants where it's kiosk and they don't bring the food to you or anything. You still have to go pick it up, and then there's
But
still
they still want
tips.
to tip. They still want to tip. It's like
what?
That's for full service restaurants. You're not a full service restaurant.
Airport.
Crazy.
Checking in the airport.
It's like the audacity
I'm used to
of these
going.
fucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like really.
When you go to the airport, you travel. I'm used to going and talking to someone. Again, kiosks. I got a lot of questions at airports. Like airports are confusing.
And
That's
every airline does
anxiety.
everything differently.
Like I just want to check this bag. And did you check in before you can use your phone? Like that's why I'm here. Like you do. Like here goes my name and my ID. I paid already. Like,
Some airlines are like, "Oh, I'll take that. Thank you. Oh, let me see your ID.
Yeah.
Give me ticket, everything." This one, like, "Oh no, check your bagging over there. Come back over here. Check in first. Go over there. Get your tag." What?
Dude, that's when I used to work in the Caribbean. We'd fly between each island, right? And there's this one regional airline throughout the Caribbean called Liat.
Uh-huh.
Unbelievably terrible service.
Yeah.
Like insane. Like everyone's like, we're gonna miss the flight, and they're moving. They don't care. They don't smile. They don't like. I'm
Because
like,
it's normal
what
to
are
them.
you- yeah,
it's
just,
normal.
it's
They're just like, well, this is just the way. Now it's culture.
yeah.
Now
yeah.
it's culture. That's the way that the company's culture is ran.
Yep.
well, just
absolutely.
like in detailing, like we talked about it before, like calling to get someone done. Oh, I'll send you my menu. Like we're complaining about customer service, but yet we're getting farther and farther from it through apps and technology.
When people have a question
That's a
for
great point.
you, we've seen guys that they'll call us up and consult with us, and we're asking, okay, well, where are the issues? Because we always try to find the issue.
Sure.
And a lot of the times the issue is not that they're not getting attention or hits or inquiries. The problem is the capture. They're not able to capture these inquiries that are coming in because they're pushing them off somewhere else. Oh, well, don't call me. Go to my web. They're calling you to get information about that's a direct lead to you.
Yep.
An opportunity for you to capture, lock down an appointment. It doesn't get any easier than
Right.
that, right?
Right.
Like that's how much of the work right there. Boom.
Yep.
Perfect. They're calling me. That's what everybody wants. But now you're telling them, oh, you can't book with me on the phone. You have to go to my website and book. Now you're putting work on that. Now
Yep.
your service value should be dropping in
Yeah.
the eyes of a consumer.
Absolutely.
Of an educated consumer. And when I say educated, I'm not talking about, degrees. I'm talking about educated in the service industry.
Yep.
If you're in the service industry, I'm in the service industry. When we have to do extra things that we're paying for already, and it's like, okay, like self-checkout for
Yep.
instance. I
Yep.
don't really like doing self-checkout because there's a good probability I'm going to need some assistance to come over and bypass something. So I'm literally losing time. I'm getting frustrated when I could have you could just have the check stands open and it's going to be far faster. But, whatever, however you're operating, the bottom line doesn't make sense to you somewhere in a big corporate world to do that. But from a customer perspective, it's more of a hassle, and it makes me not want to do that or go there anymore.
Yeah, it's a good point. Dude, Home Depot is a good example of that. They have their check. It's frustrating because they'll have 6 or 8 self-checkout lines.
In one normal checkout.
One normal, and then out of those 6 or 8,
Only 2 work?
Yes. I'm like, what is going on, dude?
And then one scan, and then the person that's standing there is literally going to every single person.
And there's rules too, like
Yeah.
this one
It's
only
like,
cash
you
only.
couldn't-
Only one. It's like all I got is cash. I don't have my car.
Yeah.
What is cash a problem now? Sheesh.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. And again, that's at the payment. Like what? It's like,
Yeah.
why are you making it hard for people to give you money?
Yeah.
You want the business, right? You're literally making it difficult for people to pay you.
You know what?
Yeah.
I want to make it easy. I want to make it very easy
What a
for
frustrating
people to
way.
pay me. Like that's the last thing I want to be
The
difficult.
hard part. Yeah.
Like, okay, well, now, because, you got something to say. You definitely got look on your face, you got something to say.
But everything is high in prices, right? Like
Yes.
$80, $100. I'm sure $100 is like nothing. But when you go and you have cash and you go, okay, that'll be $93. Okay, here goes 100. Oh, we don't take anything over 20.
Yeah. Oh, that's what they do. Yeah. Because
Like, you know how high your prices are. You don't take more than
it's like a
20.
20. It's like a $5
You're
bill
right.
nowadays. Like we're in California.
You're right.
Because you know, like some places, no bill's bigger than 20.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
what the fuck? 20? You don't even have
Doesn't
anything on the
get you
menu
anything.
for $20. Like, what are you? I can't even get coffee for $20. But you won't take anything more than $20.
That's a
like,
great point. You guys have any issues with that, like ATMs up by you? Like for us, one of my buddies was telling me they wouldn't give 20s.
Really?
Yeah, they're only giving larger bills.
Oh,
And I don't know if it was
Well,
just maybe it was a weird time.
Well, I know like casinos and stuff, like if you go to certain places, like they want you, and like the dispensaries, like they want you to pull out and
As
the
much as
fees,
possible.
It's like,
That's
if
true.
If I'm
Might
paying
as well.
a $10 surcharge, give me a couple hundred.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, like
For
I'm
sure.
gonna have cash for a few days.
Yep.
If I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, lower the
them
percentage.
ATM fees, they looks like you want to get into the ATM business. You did them fees.
I know, bro.
$3.49. Then they try to do cute, huh? $3.99.
It's not $4.
Yeah.
This is a good deal.
If I'm going to an ATM, that's not a bank. I just know I'm gonna pay.
You're
I'm
getting
gonna
hit
pay.
hard.
It's like going
or
to a
not your
convenient-
bank.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
like
'cause then
going to
there's-
a convenience store and getting something like
Yep.
motor oil or something from a gas station. You already know what's going to happen.
Yep,
you know?
absolutely.
So if I got to
It's
go
expected.
to ATM, yeah, I'm like whatever. Whatever. Yeah.
It's really disappointing though, isn't it? That it's true. We have all this technology now, but it kind of makes things harder. It's
does.
true. In a lot of senses, it does make it harder.
And I think we're just in a limbo state where it's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
I think it will be soon in, maybe the next 10, 15 years.
Well,
But right now, it causes a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
If it's causing confusion for our generation, imagine how confusing it is for like our parents. I wouldn't want to do shit.
No,
I wouldn't want to
no.
do that. I'm like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not buying nothing online. I'm not doing, but then some of them are super easy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, cool. Google Pay, Apple Pay. Like,
Again, that's why I think Amazon's so crazy because everyone's got their stuff uploaded.
make
It's
it
just
easy.
add to cart, done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's
Super simple.
easy. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's we're at a weird stage, but definitely if you're looking to get your business on point and really kill some competition or take over your area,
Yep.
that customer service and the ease of access and the ease of payment, all of those small things,
Yep.
the basics, kill them with the basics. And it's there's a lot of detailers working at about the same level.
Yeah.
And there's not much of a difference,
Yeah.
in price point.
So
and-
that can be your differentiator.
yeah, that's the one that's going to really make you stand out. And that's when I came into this industry, I came, with a different background than most detailers. So when I came in, I saw all the opportunities that were here that were lacking.
based on
And
the service side.
Yes,
Really, right?
and
Yeah.
that's all I targeted. I said, okay, I'm going to do this better. I'm going to do this better. I'm going to do this better. All of these things that are lacking in this industry, I'm just going to kill it at. And I think that's why we grew so fast and why we have the reputation we have,
Yeah. On the consulting side for you guys, do you guys do any, like, is it all in-person consulting, one-on-one kind of like, or do you do classes with it where you have multiple, like,
Again, on the subject of service, we try to accommodate however we can.
got it.
We even have like quick one-day turnarounds.
Gotcha.
To where somebody can come with us and say, "Hey, these are the problems I'm having. These are, the issues that keep reoccurring in the business." We have a quick consultation. It might be in a 1-hour phone call.
Okay.
And then we'll follow up 24 hours to 48 hours later with an action plan.
Yep.
And some actionables that they can literally apply to their business that day.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if it's something real simple that that you don't have to be in person to really work with, because a lot of the questions the guys have are along the same lines.
Sure.
How do I do this? How do I do that?
Everything's
Like,
struggling
how
with
do-
the same things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of those things, a lot of them are kind of identified the same way, like with the few pieces of information and getting their, getting their business kind of like on paper for us.
Yeah.
We see what's going on and we're able to kind of see where those opportunities lie and what's happening, where the disconnect is.
Yep.
And then we could do a turnaround and say, okay, that's kind of like our express service.
Got
when
it.
it comes to, somebody's on a budget, but they want a quick solution. That's not going to take us a lot of time.
Sure.
But if they're like, hey, I need a whole restructuring of my business, I need training and development plan for my staff that I'm onboarding, or I have a new manager coming in and I need some leadership skills training for him.
Yep.
So stuff like that obviously is going to take more time, cost more money, and it's going to be more bespoke for their individual business.
Sure.
And then we also have people that are trying to scale or consolidate. So when things like that happen, obviously the business model is going to change a little bit, and a little bit different things have to be incorporated. And those are the ones that are the most fun to us, because we're able to kind of spot things that are going to happen in the future that they don't know. Okay, well, you're going to downsize this much. You're going to have to, figure out, are you going to now outsource some of the services that you were doing before, because you can still get paid off of that by using a third party
Yep.
or
A contract.
contract
business,
exactly. There's other ways. So we try to maximize their profits with whatever situation they're leaning towards going. So, and then we also go live. We'll travel to you if that's what you want to do. We've gone and traveled and looked at spaces that were completely empty and kind of done
really?
space optimizations for warehouses. Like, okay, this is where this needs to be set up. This is where this needs. We've done time studies for people. That's probably one of our most popular services is time studies. People come in and we literally sit there with the timer and we're taking notes of everything they're doing. Okay, you cut this out. You need to do this. Okay, we just shaved off 50% of your time that you're wasting doing this.
Yep.
Part
And
of
time
your
is money.
business. Yeah. So all of those, all of those services that we provide, they all have a huge impact on the business. It's just a lot of people don't know how to identify those problems, or they just don't see it. We're in the day-to-day every day. That's why it's great with the both of us, because we're seeing each other work. And we're like, hey, how's that working out for you? Maybe we should switch that up. Maybe we should not do that, And now it's like second nature. Like, I'm sure, like, when we talk to you or you hear us talking to other people, you're just like, it's just always solutions, because that's where we're coming from.
Yep.
So it's
and it's one of those things, like we talked about culture before, like where you get set in your ways and you can't see it any other way. So having that third person perspective,
it's very valuable.
Huge.
Yeah, you're seeing, and it's coming from a place that's
wanting
all
to help.
operational.
Okay,
It's not like, it's like this is going to have a direct impact on your business. And some people are like, that's really not making a big deal. That's okay. It's like, actually it is.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think it is, but the trickle down effect.
Yep.
Now it's taking
Especially
2
when-
hours away from your time that you could be at home.
Right.
Now it's interfering with well, no wonder you don't have time to take a lunch throughout the day, because you're wasting time doing this, where stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
and essentially, it's especially when you start to scale to bigger, getting busier or bringing employees.
because it's so much
amplified.
harder to fix when it gets to that level, and it gets so buried with all your day-to-day stuff. It's like, okay, well, you kind of lost sight of the actual foundations of the operations. And a lot of times people, more times than most, or more frequently, what we see is people try to add stuff in to either patch stuff over and save time, which ends up being more problematic.
Yep.
The more
It's a Band-Aid and not an actual thing. Yeah.
And we find the simpler you are, the more efficient you're going to be. You're going to be more productive. It's easier to train people. You don't have as many points of failure. So if you're running a system with, like, for instance, like the third party stuff, when you do booking, places are like, oh, well, we booked through a third party, so we don't have the information. That only goes to so-and-so.
Right.
And it's kind of like, okay, well, that's a point of failure.
Yeah.
Like with the car rental, it was a point of failure for us. It's like, okay, well, you don't have any of my card information that I put it online and paid the deposit with.
Right.
If you had that card information, then you would just have to charge it again.
Right.
Like some places like the hotel. We already have your card on file. No problem.
Do you want to use the card on file for? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, so systems like that, people don't realize those create just a better service overall and a better working environment. That lady didn't have to deal with my stubbornness and my frustration. That could have been solved if somebody in upper management said, hey, man, this is becoming a problem. Can we fix this? Is there a solution for this? And that's all we do is find solutions and help people.
Yep. It's crazy to me that a company that big still has those issues.
Oh, there's
on the car rental side.
Yeah.
It's no different. You would think.
You would think, and what we're learning in this industry specific, we're like, oh, well, we're going to go visit such and such. You know, they got their stuff together. And then we go there and we're like,
They don't got their
okay.
shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all scales.
Yeah.
But because, and it's, we don't judge anybody's operation because everybody operates different. Everybody
Absolutely.
had a different starting point. Everybody has different backing. Everybody has different structure.
Sure.
So we look at it with the, you know, like a blank slate. Like, okay, what would we do in this position? What would we do to? It's truly a place of help.
Yeah.
Because if you go in there and you're just kind of like, oh, I want to do it. I would do it the way that I do it. That's not always going to be the best, you know, the best option for the person. If they operate a completely different way, we run a two-man operation.
Yep.
Everything is very, very lean with everything we do. If we're trying to scale, obviously that business model has to change.
Yeah, sure,
You know,
sure.
you just can't do that. It's not good. We don't run ads. There's certain things that we don't do. Obviously, if we're going to expand our service area, there's going to be things that have to be incorporated into the business.
Yep.
But even when doing the scaling, there's ways of doing that in an optimized way. So you're not, because anything you add, you know, you've added so much to what Josh V does.
Yep, for
Whether
sure.
that's detail or supply, your channel, you know, the facility.
Yep.
Everything that you add brings more complications.
It sure does.
So
yeah.
if you don't have kind of, and sometimes it does just take one shot and you're like, okay, I'm never doing that again.
yeah.
or,
Yeah.
or you're like, okay, I can do that, but I just got to tweak this.
Yep.
You know, but if we keep progressing and we don't fix those, it's just now you're just
You don't have the structure to keep building on.
exactly.
It's all going to
Now it's already
crumble.
fragile to
Yeah.
begin with, and
Yep.
and every single time something happens, it's like, okay, it's not just now you have the new problem and then you have the old problem.
You still gotta do
That's
it.
for every time you do this, you're encountering, and it just compounds. And we see guys that are like 6-7 levels deep of issues, and it's like, fix the core issue and it fixes all of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
definitely.
what we find. And it really changes. We've doubled people's incomes through one consultation. Yes. Because we've opened up time because they weren't doing things a way that made sense from a business perspective
Right.
or from a process you know, perspective in their business model. So, you know, you may be following a business model, but it doesn't fit your level of scale or where you're at for your business. You know, you can have aspirations and want to do things, but you have to understand where you're at right now and what's going to work for your business size, your market, and you know what you have to deliver upon. You know, your demand. Some people have a crazy demand with a small operation.
Yes,
you have to
right.
figure out how to, like us, we have a big demand with a small operation. Our prices are high. We're very limited on who we allow. Like, you know, we screen our clientele.
Yep.
That's a way for us to control it. We don't work certain times of the day. Like we have to create that control in order to keep that there. But but we know that's important for us to do. Is it a deterrent for some clients? Yes, it is. The price point could be a deterrent. The weight could be a deterrent.
Of course.
But it also funnels out the ones that don't value us.
Yep.
Because they like, okay, I'll wait for details.
Right.
I'll wait for details another month.
Yep.
Because I know what I'm going to get from them.
Versus I'll go find somebody else. That,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'm
definitely.
going to have to go to details anyway after.
Right.
Because, you know,
to fix what.
yeah.
all the
So,
times.
you know, and then you have the other guys that are just like volume. I need
Right.
volume. I need volume. Obviously, you need more people.
Yep.
You need to have a very structured system. Like you need to have hours. You need to control labor now. You need to manage your resources
Yep.
better.
Your lead generation, like for
Everything. Like you need to make sure that's coming in. Like
Yep.
you need to make sure you have stuff coming in, and you know, to pay for your expenses.
So when you're dealing with, like, because you guys run your detail business, like that's the majority of your work, and then you do the consulting stuff as well. So like when people want consulting from you guys, like what's the process for them to get? Like, do they just contact you through?
Yeah, you can reach out to us on our you know, through email, through the YouTube channel. A lot of people
hit you
watch the YouTube channel, and I think that's been a good segue for people to kind of get a good feel for us,
Yeah.
our style, and sometimes we get, because it's really like no nonsense. Because
Yep.
if you're calling us, you're probably at the point where you're like, hey, I just need this fixed. Like
Right.
I can't afford. I'll pay whatever I have to pay. I need it done because it's costing me money not
Yep.
to get this fixed.
Yep.
You know, so they're pretty much fed up and tired of trying their processes or whatever. We've had guys that have paid like thousands of dollars for other people's programs. This and
Yeah, of
that.
course, yeah.
You know, and then they're just like, none of it worked. But our approach just works better for some people. And a lot of the times we were talking today after KCX training about Sal said sometimes you just need that person like giving you the blunt, honest truth.
Yep.
And those are the ones when we're just like, hey, bro, this is not working. Like you really can't be doing that because that's screwing up your business. It's messing up your money. You're going home angry, upset. It's going to cause you problems in your marriage.
Yep.
It's going to be it's now when it starts getting into your personal life. I feel like that's when people really pick up the phone or email us. They're like, hey, man, I need you guys out here.
Yeah.
So when they see us on the podcast, they're kind of like, okay, these guys are straight shooters.
Yep.
I'm ready for that. I need that. And it's kind of the mentality like somebody who really cares about you, like a best friend, who's going to tell you the truth, whether it hurts or not.
Yep.
Like you need to hear it.
Well, we've talked off camera, obviously, and just as friends, and it's like, you're not doing that for the income. Like you really enjoy helping people
That's what,
build their businesses.
Yeah,
and
we
stuff.
want to
So
see
it's
people
fun.
succeed because we're all in the same industry and we know what it's like to put forth that effort, that sacrifice, and kind of make that leap of faith. Like, oh, this may work because it's a gamble.
Yeah,
every single thing we do is a gamble. We don't know if it's going to work. But you want to make the most calculated decisions as much as possible. You want to get as much information you can, and sometimes we all make those decisions where it's like, this one didn't work out.
Yep.
But you'd rather take a little scrape on the knee than lose a leg.
Yeah,
For
sure.
And I've seen guys. That's the worst thing for us to see guys leave their job because they were miserable. They hated it. They had these aspirations of having this lifestyle of where they make their own schedule. They have the time off. They can be with their family. They're happy. They're in a good mental state.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they hate it because they just can't control it. They can't control the business.
It's running their lives
Exactly.
as opposed to
And we see that, and that kills us because it's like that's not they came into this with really good like to improve their life.
Right.
And now it's like now you're broke. Like there's always a sense of uncertainty, right?
Of course.
When you're doing it on your own.
Absolutely.
So that's always new. So somebody coming from, a place that's real structured, and now it's all on you, but you don't
weight
have the
of
skills.
everything is on your shoulders.
The family, if you're taking care of anybody, you have any response. Like for a single college kid, it's probably not much.
Yeah, exactly. It's not so bad.
Nothing's a big deal. But when you get older, it's a lot more pressure, a lot more responsibility. So for us, we don't want to see anybody have to go through that if you don't have to.
Right.
Some of these things can be easily corrected. Just the guys here hearing us speak about how we built our business and the opportunities you have to build the business your way is kind of like eye-opening. I wish I had somebody when I was, in my 20s tell me something like that. I'd be like, okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I had the capabilities to do this, I can do it, and to network with people and have people there to help you in any aspect of your business. That's a valuable tool.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, use the knowledge of others. Like that's why everyone talks about mentorship so much, because it's like you're learning from someone who's done it.
Yeah.
Right. You're cutting out so many of the mistakes because you're learning from somebody.
With the consulting, it's a way for just more relationships.
And we're always developing a relationship.
We met you last year, by the way. It feels like we've been friends forever.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree.
Here watching your growth, you're here hosting the first KCX training here on this side. I see your storefront, your new facility.
Yep.
Rafa was in here
Rafa's
designing
here,
his new shop, and we met him last year.
Yep.
It's exciting. We're celebrating together where everyone's winning. So
yeah, exactly. It's cool. Like the industry's a fun industry. Like the more people you meet, it's incredible, right? Like, everyone's kind of has a very, very similar mentality most of the time.
Yeah.
And it's easy to connect with people that you have shared interests.
And
so.
it's nice having that trust too with guys that we're meeting, and they feel the genuineness from us. It's not like there's no ulterior motive for that. We don't have a brand to sell.
Yep.
We don't have a product to sell. We don't have like us. It's who we are. We are the product.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
for us, we're not. It's not like, oh, I'm not talking to you right now. You got to be on the clock. It's not like that. But we're happy to, like, if we see something that a friend can something that could help a friend, we're gonna tell them.
Yeah.
Like, if you see something, you're like, hey, Joel, you need to get your channel on a schedule. Okay, cool. Maybe I should listen to Josh.
Right.
He has a few more followers than I do. You know what I mean?
But yeah, it's exactly.
Details official. Mondays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Mondays and Fridays. Details
Beautiful.
official.
Yeah, so and that's how it is. And I'm sure there's something that maybe Sal said or I said where you're just like, okay, cool, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and it's just like those things that you value from other people, where it's coming from an honest place. I think that's really what connects us details to a lot of the guys in the industry,
Yep.
where they're just kind of like, okay, and it's cool being able to have that trust, like from like all different parts of the industry, you know, whether you're a chemical maker, whether you're, in the design side, or you're a working detailer, or it's like in social media now. It's kind of like, okay, I need help here. You know, we're talking to Hector yesterday.
Yep.
Looking at the YouTube channel, like he's asking me questions. I'm nowhere. You should be asking Josh, but still, for him, our channel, he likes things that we're doing in our channel. It's like, okay, cool. You can incorporate this, and it's just passing around knowledge, and
Absolutely.
it's to make all of us better.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Well, let's go grab some lunch here, but before we do, let's talk about rinseless.
Oh,
That's not. Hey man, I love rinseless. Like I always say, rinseless. There's a place for it, a very small one, and that's it.
Yeah, go check out their video on rinseless, because I tend to lean how you guys do. My opinion is very, very similar on that. So, yeah. So anyways, thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
Let's go.